Check. Okay, there we go. Mic's working. Cool. Alright, I updated my computer and things are all over the place right now. All my settings got like reset for some stupid reason, but yeah, see the music just went off for you guys when it shouldn't have. It should be this. There you go. Now we're back. Alright, y'all. Welcome in. I missed Monday, so glad to be here for today as this is the final game before the All-Star break for the Bulls. So we are officially, for the Chicago Bulls season at least, we are officially into the All-Star break now, which is great. Bulls head into the All-Star break. They've lost 6 in a row. They've lost 9 in their last 10. So that's great signs, honestly. So good job by the Bulls to be at least losing. Now, I'm not exactly thrilled with the minutes distribution throughout these games, I'll say. I think that we could still be prioritizing younger players a little bit more when it comes to the minutes. But hey, at least we're glad we're losing. Glad we are fully, it looks like, embracing the tank here, which is good. But I have my questions, but right now it's looking pretty solid at this current moment in time. However, I will say, this team hasn't had a practice yet, so there is just like, for all the people that still want to play in tournament run, for I don't know why you would want that. There is some hope for you, honestly, that the team kind of gets their shit together after the practice time, after the All-Star break. But I hope that honestly doesn't happen, and we just play the young guys for most of the rest of the season. So, either way, though, Bulls go ahead and drop this one in Boston. They took a lot less threes than I thought they would, honestly. I was a little bit shocked at their three-point total because I wrote a preview article for today, and they only took 36 threes, which is very odd. This team has been launching the three-point shots since the trade deadline, so I was a little bit shocked to see this. Defense, yet again, got absolutely wrecked. So that's not shocking. Again, no chemistry at all, but obviously, they didn't really trade for anyone that's like good defensively anyway. Yeah, I mean, we saw the offense was just nowhere to be found, honestly, all night long. Thought Buzelis did pretty well in this one. He was honestly close to his typical 7 for 15 shooting and getting like about 18 points, some rebounds, and a block or so, right? So, you know, he was kind of around there. He should have played more tonight. I was a little bit pissed off that he didn't play more tonight. Montes Buzelis played less minutes than Anthony Simons and Patrick Williams in the first half. So, you know, I know that maybe some people might be looking at questioning, like, why are you complaining, Duncan? Like, Ivy and Dunningham got more minutes than Simons tonight. Well, somehow, some way, those two guards got less minutes than Sexton in a blowout tonight. And Montes Buzelis played less minutes than Patrick Williams and Anthony Simons in the first half. Like, I don't know what the hell Donovan's looking at. I don't know why that's still a thing. Like, I'm very annoyed by how Billy Donovan continues to not be prioritizing some of the younger players, but the fact that I saw Montes Buzelis have less minutes than Patrick Williams in the first half is just ridiculous. That is unacceptable. Now, Pat had like actually a pretty decent game. Like, this is like, you know, one of the better Patrick Williams games of the season, which is saying something. But like, still, like, Pat wasn't better than Buzelis in that first half. Buzelis was better in the first half and was better than the entire game than Pat. Yet somehow Pat had more minutes, significantly more minutes than Buzelis tonight. I get it was a blowout, but still, I don't understand it, honestly. Dillingham is definitely doing some things. 16 points and 7 assists tonight, a career high in minutes for him, which is good. I'm also going to be talking about and calling out some people about saying, like, I don't know if you guys saw this on Bulls Twitter, but there's some people complaining about the fact that this is like an actual tank, and like they're being sarcastic and saying like, oh my god, I'm sure all these games are really helping all these players' confidence, and they're truly going to develop it in this sort of system. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm sure that Rob Dillingham got a lot of confidence sitting at the end of the bench and not playing in games in Minnesota. I'm sure his development was so good in Minnesota in a winning situation, and when he was not playing whatsoever. I'm sure that really helped his confidence, guys. I'm sure Rob Dillingham was so confident in Minnesota. I am absolutely sure of that. Like, that, people just need to shut up, man. Like, I'm very happy that Rob Dillingham played 30 minutes tonight and got a career high minutes, and he performed. This is a good Celtics. This is a good Celtics like defense, and like Dillingham actually like performed well tonight. I think tonight really helped his confidence, and it helped his development. So I'm just gonna call out these people that are just flat out like anti-tank everything and just like, no, we need to be trying to win every freaking game possible. But yeah, I'm like, you guys are talking about player development, but like the only way these guys can develop is if they play. Like, tonight was a good thing to see that these two younger guards got more minutes than Simons tonight. Now, that would not have happened if it was a close game tonight. Simons would have played more minutes than both of them, because Simons got 19 first half minutes, which is just, like, that's absurd. I don't need Simons playing 19 minutes in the first half. But hey, this is honestly probably one of the better games in terms of minutes distribution. And we also got to see Leonard Miller, who performed pretty well in his limited minutes. So I'm hoping that we see more Miller minutes, more Ivy, more Dillingham minutes, more Buzelis minutes moving forward. I don't need to see these other guards. Like, look, again, I think Simons and Sexton are fine. It's just we need to see development, honestly. So overall, though, I think that Dillingham was pretty solid tonight. I appreciate his effort on defense. I understand that he's not going to be good on defense just due to his size. But I appreciate what he's doing. Like, I'm actually like pretty pleased with how he is playing the game. I am still concerned just because it is just a small guard. There's just always concerns with the small guard at this point. There's even like now the talk about like if a small guard ever gets injured, it's just kind of over for them. Like even if it's just a small injury, like any sort of edge that they have is just kind of gone. So I'm hoping that Dillingham doesn't get injured early in his career. But he is doing a lot with his like pick and roll, like kind of quick drives, and then obviously he had 3 steals tonight. So like we're seeing him have some of these active hands, which is good. He's passing it pretty well. His passing out of the pick and roll has been pretty solid all season long. Or sorry, since he's gotten to the Bulls, I should say. Whether it's finding the roll man or finding guys in the corner, he's done a good job. Like I think he's honestly done a good job of that. So that's good. Yeah, I'm obviously still always just concerned with Dillingham, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. The one thing that I'm still just a little bit like kind of confused by with him is I need to see that pull-up jumper off the pick and roll. Like he doesn't really do it. Like you can definitely tell that his first instinct is to drive. And that's great. Like I'm not here to stop him from that, but as a small guard in this league, he's going to have the pull-up jump shot. That's just not even something we can just negotiate about. Like as a small guard, you need to have that pull-up jump shot. And there were many times tonight where I thought that he came off a pick and I'm like, oh, you should shoot that 3-point shot, and he just decided to drive it instead. That's fine. Like, you know, he's been playing well with this way. I'm just definitely seeing like he needs to have the pull-up jump shot. So I'm hoping to see more of that as the, you know, season kind of moves along here, as he, you know, gets more playing time and maybe find some faith in that jump shot, because then obviously he took a jump shot tonight in the corner and it hit off the side of the backboard. So maybe he just doesn't have that confidence in it just yet. That's fine. But I hope to see him find that confidence moving forward with him, is so that when he comes off that pick and roll screen, like he's a threat just to launch it from 3-point range. So hoping to see that and eventually at the end of the season here from Dillingham. And hey, we have him for the next 2 years. So we're good. What's going on, Patrick? Keep losing. Is it too late to get a top 8 pick though? I mean, let me check here. I mean, the Bulls have done a good job recently. Obviously, they've lost 6 straight, so that's good. In terms of getting a top 8 pick, I mean, it seems pretty doable. Now, Memphis is probably going to be also tanking out the rest of the season here. So, I do think it's going to be pretty tough, but it is doable in my opinion. Dallas is 100% like tanking the rest of the season. There's no way you're going to catch up to them. Like they trade Anthony Davis away. Like even though Cooper Flagg's, you know, done well, it's just like they're full out tanking. Memphis, I have a hard time believing the Bulls will catch up to them personally, but it's there's potential to do that. But I do think the Bulls are going to get past Milwaukee. Milwaukee won today, and Giannis should be coming back. So I think the Bulls can get to 9th. That's the best possible, though, I think, personally. But there is a chance they get past Memphis. It would just be very tough, though. So, you know, of course, now we're annoyed with the wins that we got earlier in the season, of course, because that's what we were talking about. As Rossi said, Monta's under 30 minutes of playing time, having the almost same amount of shots as P won't. Fatizzelli. Sexton Dillingham is coaching malpractice. Donovan needs to get investigated before. Oh my god, bro. Donovan was pissing me off all game, mostly in the first half with how he was distributing the minutes. Again, Buzelis had less minutes than Patrick Williams and Anthony Simons in the first half. We decided to start Sexton tonight over Ivy. I don't understand that at all. That is a horrific decision. And we also, it's so weird too, because there was the Bulls Twitter account tweeted out that Ivy was starting tonight, and then we find out that Sexton's starting, and then they deleted that tweet. Like, it was the most absurd thing I've seen. I'm just like, first and foremost, why is Sexton starting? We don't need to see Sexton starting. Like, again, good player. I just don't need him here. I think the Bulls honestly should be waiving Sexton for Jeremy Sohan. Like, that actually would be a good decision by them. I don't need Sexton here anymore. I appreciate him as a player. He's a good player, but I just don't need him here. But also then to, prioritize Simons and Sexton in that first half, and also put in a freaking 4-guard lineup with Yabusele at center. Like, I actually Donovan plays a lot of small lineups. I actually think we just saw the smallest lineup in his tenure with the Bulls tonight when he decided to play all 4 of Sexton, Simons, Dillingham, and Ivy together with Gershon Yabusele at center. Like, I understand that people are going to be like, Duncan, see, he's playing the guys. Like, what are you complaining about? My complaint is that you're putting those guys out of position. Like, you're putting one of the 4 guards out there at power forward, basically. That's not going to help them develop whatsoever. That is a terrible decision by Billy Donovan. It is just basically asking for them to not play their proper position. Like, that's not going to help them develop. So, yeah, Billy Donovan had a lot of terrible decisions tonight. In the end, thank God Dillingham and Ivy got a ton of minutes. That's a good thing, but it only happened because the Bulls were getting wrecked. If this was a close game, then Simons 100% is like playing like 38 minutes tonight or something. Like, that's the part that I think that we need to also keep in mind. So I'm glad this happened, but yeah, bro, I don't need to be seeing Sexton and Simons starting together. That decision's absurd. That alone should get Billy Donovan fired. If the front office is fine with this, though, then obviously it's the front office's fault. But if the front office did tell Billy Donovan you should be playing the younger guys right now, and he's not, then the front office just needs to fire Billy Donovan. They won't, obviously, because they love that man to death, but it is bothering the shit out of me with what I'm seeing right now from Billy on a nightly basis. Now, I didn't watch that Brooklyn Nets game. I still need to go watch that, and obviously I have an entire week to watch that now. But man, like, Billy Donovan since the trade deadline has like somehow made his like rotational minutes that I've been upset about like even worse. It's just so bad. Teams Giannis coming back, so they could definitely pass us. Yeah, I do think that Milwaukee will pass us. They won tonight against the Magic, so Milwaukee should be passing us. Next week against Raptors, Pistons, and Knicks, love to see us drop all 3. We should be dropping all 3 of those games. Maybe the Raptors give us a chance, but I really do think we're going to be seeing the Bulls drop all 3 of those games, which is good. That's a good thing. Is Rob Dillingham a piece for the future? Same with Ivy. I'm confused what they want out of those guys. So, at least in my assumption is that, yeah, they're looked at as like pieces of the future. Now, I understand with Ivy that there's still a lot of concern with him, just due to the fact that he hasn't looked the same since his injury, and he's going to be a restricted free agent. So, like, there may be some talk about him not being part of this team's future. But still, though, he's younger than both Simons and Sexton, so I need to see him play more than both those guys. Simons and Sexton are also going to be unrestricted free agents, so like there's a high chance that they're not going to be on this team anyway. Dillingham is definitely part of this team's future. He's 21. He's the same age as Buzelis, so he should be looked at as a piece. Now, is he going to be the starting point guard of this team's future? Probably not, because we have Josh Giddey here, but I do think that he could definitely be a piece moving forward. A guy off the bench that can come in and help. So, yeah, I need to see Dillingham play a lot of minutes. 30 minutes tonight is great from him. I'm glad to see that. I just know Billy Donovan wouldn't have given those 30 minutes if the game was closer. So, I'm hoping that we see better decisions moving forward. I like to see Dillingham play 30 minutes, though, correct. I also would like to see Leonard Miller more, 100%. Miller's intriguing to me. Like, he definitely is intriguing to me. I've liked what I've saw in Minnesota from him. I know it's limited. It's nothing substantial, but like he really does intrigue me. No, Bulls have him under contract for a little bit, and he's 6'10" and for a team that needs size. So in his limited minutes tonight, he did a good job. He finished 2 shots around the basket. He got 3 rebounds. Like, that's honestly better than some Patrick Williams days. So yeah, I was honestly livid as fuck about the fact that Okoro wasn't playing tonight, and yet Billy Donovan decided that he was going to run the 4-guard lineup with Yabusele, but then also play Yabusele and Nick Richards together, which was just absolutely unnecessary. You had every opportunity to play Miller in this game, and you decided to play Yabusele at the 4 with Nick Richards and play the 4-guard lineup instead. That's stupid. That is just stupid as fuck from Billy Donovan. That makes no damn sense. So I can't stand that, honestly, moving forward. But yeah, I think Leonard Miller did a good job in his limited minutes. I need to see more from him. Not from him necessarily, but more minutes in general just being played. Because I do think that maybe the Bulls have something in him. So again, you need to just play the young guys. Gotta prioritize it. You're talking about Bulls Central. Oh, the tweet. Yeah, he's one of those people. But there's more. There's definitely a lot more than just Bull Central. And honestly, I don't even want to get into some drama right now because I don't know if you guys have seen on Twitter, but it has been an absolute shit show recently in Bulls Nation Twitter. It has been an absolute shit show, and I cannot believe what's happening in Bulls Nation. But hope people are okay. But dear Lord, man, I do not need to see this sort of drama happening with this team. It's very interesting how it all happened. That's all I'm gonna say, but there's a lot going on. But yeah, I was talking about Bull Central, who tweeted out something stupid today. So, which I've already called him out on this channel a lot. Now he's not ever gonna listen to me when it comes to this sort of stuff, but I've said it on this channel. His basketball knowledge of how things work is not high. He constantly, I was arguing with him a lot about the salary cap rules and trade rules, and he was constantly arguing certain things, and I'm like, no, you're completely wrong, here are the rules, and he just still wouldn't acknowledge me. So that is, his fan base is always going to back him up, and hey, I give props to those guys for being loyal, but I'm just like, listen, you're just spewing out false information, I'm correcting you, and you're still not appreciating what I'm saying, so I don't know what to do with you. But he's an anti-tanker, very much so, and absolutely can't stand the tank. Honestly, I think the Bulls are doing one of the most ethical tanks in the league, so I don't think he has really a right to complain. But yeah, his basketball knowledge, it bothers me sometimes because he thinks he's right about a lot of things when I'm like, you're avidly wrong. Now look, I've done that too on this channel. I've been completely wrong about things that I think I'm 100% right about, but once I've learned, I've even said it. Like I apologize to Personal Freedom in the comment section because I was wrong about a trade rule at the trade deadline recently. So yeah, I need to, if I'm gonna have any sort of conversations with some of these people, I need to see them admit some wrongs at the end of the day. Got good vision too. Dillingham, I do think he has some pretty solid vision. Yeah. Specifically passes to the corner or then passes to the roller off a pick and roll. It's been pretty solid from him. Going on DJ Hill. Mid-range shot is pretty decent already, but the three-point shot is kind of concerning. It is. The mid-range shot though, like I'm glad I see that at least. Like the mid-range shot like seems to be an arsenal or part of his arsenal for him. Like that's good. And I do appreciate like it's not just like, oh, I'm just gonna look for a mid-range shot. It's like he's actually trying to drive and then shoots the mid-range. Like I said, like I'm not a fan of the mid-range, but if you at least attempt to drive and you settle for the mid-range off the drive, that's fine for me. I'm not going to complain about that. But yeah, you have to at least try to drive first. That's first and foremost. And he's done that, and I'm totally fine with that. But I am definitely like what you're saying, Rozzy. Like that three-point shot needs to be there because, again, as a small guard, you're most likely not going to get that many opportunities in the paint. Especially when you slow down, like, your speed slows down, your athleticism kind of wanes. Like, it's so vital for you to have that three-point shot in your arsenal. And I like, again, I think, Dillingham did good today with his drives. It's just that I need to see that three-point shot in him for me to kind of believe in a, like, successful career for him. So, he's done good, though. Continue to play him, please, Donovan, please. And I hope his confidence is building, honestly. Yeah. Rob got to bulk up even a little bit. So, here's the thing. Like, in my opinion, honestly, I don't even know if I want Rob to, like, fully bulk up. Like, I do think that there is maybe the arguments to say, like, yeah, he needs to kind of get some upper body strength, which I can understand that. But my thing, though, that I'm just a little bit worried about is that if he bulks up, like, I worry that's gonna kill his speed, which is his edge. Like his speed is his edge against any defender, right? That's his advantage versus anybody. And so if he's ever gonna get a shot up at the rim, it's because he was able to blow by that his defender, and he's gonna put pressure on the rim to be able to go and get that shot off. If he bulks up and slows himself down, I worry about the fact that him bulking up is gonna like hurt ability to be quicker, but he's also so small that it's not going to really help his finishing. So in my opinion, honestly, I don't know how much I really want him to bulk up, because I think his speed is his edge, and that's going to be the most important thing for him moving forward. I think personally, I want the jump shot to be a little bit more of a priority right now for him. I understand, again, it's been limited minutes for him, and it's hard to kind of get a gauge, but for the time that we have seen him so far, that jump shot hasn't really given me much confidence right now. And I would much rather him focus on kind of refining that versus him like bulking up and potentially killing his speed. Because again, like, I think that the idea of him bulking up is so that he can finish better through contact or like better at the rim. My only thing though is that because he's already so small, like, I don't think that him bulking up is really going to help him finish at the rim anyway. So I think that the jump shot needs to be the higher priority and allow him to keep his speed as his advantage over defenders and not have him bulk up that much. I can get behind, you know, some upper body strength. Like, he's 21. Like, I can definitely get behind some upper body kind of work for him. But in terms of, like, you know, adding on to his, like, 175, like, weight or whatever it is, like, I wouldn't add on to it, like, too much, honestly, because I do think that's his edge. So, yeah, that's my only thing, personally, with Rob. Now, the reason why, if you're wondering why I'm concerned, is just, like, that's what I'm talking about Rob and his advantage over defenders. Like, this is the entire concern I have, because if that speed ever goes away, right, then it's just like, what is he at that point? Like, he doesn't have much of an edge over anybody. So that's the reason why when it comes to small guards, it's like, you know, we've seen guys like Darius Garland, for example, has some success early in his career in this modern day NBA as a small guard. The problem is, though, is that he gets injured once and it just seems like he's never the same player ever again. And it's because that injury kills any sort of advantage of speed that player has, which is the reason why the jump shot is going to be so critical for Dillingham moving forward, because that's going to extend his career. So that's just my personal opinion. I could be 100% wrong, honestly, but this is just overall my concerns with a small guard at the end of the day, which is the reason why I don't think Dillingham is going to be like the starting point guard at any point with the Bulls. But hey, an off the bench player, and obviously, you know, bench players are very important now these days. Like, yeah, I can definitely see him. Was it Dillingham had a decent game? Yeah. Last time you weren't convinced the Bulls aren't tanking. What about now? It definitely is more convincing now. However, though, again, I'm still just a little bit hesitant, just because I want to see how this team looks post All-Star break, when they actually have like a practice together. That's like my only like still concern about it. If they're still, you know, looking terrible post All-Star break, then I'm like, okay, yeah, we're officially on the tank train. That's good. Keep losing. My only thing though is, like, if they have like a good practice and like their defensive schemes look better, their offense looks a little bit more fluid, like the thing that I think we have to remember is that, like, they were in that Nuggets game, right? Like, the Bulls were in that Nuggets game 100%, and, you know, it fell off at the end, but like they were in that game. They were also in that Raptors game when they had like no one really available, and they at one point took the lead in that Raptors game, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm just like, wow, that's not what I was expecting. And then obviously it did fall off at the end, though. So maybe that's just going to be what continues, and that's good. Like, you know, it's an ethical tank at the end of the day. But I'm just a little bit concerned that it's going to like be like, oh, the team's going to form some chemistry, and all of a sudden we're going to try and go on a run and try to get the 10 seed. I don't want that at all. Getting the 10 seed means absolutely nothing this season. But yeah, I'm just a little bit concerned, and the biggest reason why is just that Billy Donovan's at the helm. Like, Billy Donovan's never been a coach that wants to coach for a tank, so I'm always just concerned that he's gonna be trying to still win every single game. But if he changes his ways and he actually plays the younger players over all the vets, then I'll believe it's a full-out tank at that. Doesn't matter if they're tanking; they failed at that too. It's way too late. All their teams are way ahead and taking stand this game. Yeah, so. It is obviously the timing, if this is a tank, is horrific for the Bulls, but still, I'd rather the Bulls be, you know, 9th in going into the lottery versus the Bulls being 13th or 14th, right? So as much as I like, don't get me wrong, I'm already pissed off because like this season should have been a tank for the Bulls. This was the draft to do it. If you actually decide to tank out this season and prepare to get like a top 4 pick in this draft, like you're in a significantly better spot than you are right now. The Bulls obviously didn't do that, and they're stupid as hell. But with that being said, I still would rather the Bulls go in with the 9th best lottery odds versus them going in at like 13th or 14th or even 12th, right? I understand it's like, it's like not that big of a difference, but I still would rather have it. So, like, there's legitimately nothing that helps the Bulls if they go and make the play-in tournament. Like, it does nothing for them. At least if you tank out the rest of the season, you'll have better lottery odds. That's the way I look at it. So losing as much as possible is the better decision, in my opinion. What is Jeremy Sohan good at? Isn't he ass? He is absolutely ass, unfortunately. His on-off numbers this season are atrocious. It's pretty bad from him. The one thing he does add, though, is like actually pretty solid defense. He does add some versatility in that he can kind of handle the ball. He can kind of rebound effectively for his position. And he'll add some good defensive effort. Like he can actually bring that to the table, which obviously the Bulls team needs. Now, in my opinion, again, like I think we should just cut Sexton right now and add Sohan. Like I don't see an issue with it whatsoever. I mean, we're already eating Sexton's contract anyway for the rest of the season. Just go ahead and add Sohan for Sexton. Like, it's, to me, there's no issue with, there's no downside in doing that. But I am very much aware that he's been pretty awful. He's been pretty bad. So, yeah, I'm all for it though. He's 23, I think, right? 22, 23. So I think it's worth it just see what you can get out of him. But, Bulls probably won't do it. They probably want to see what they got in Sexton or Simons the rest of the season, which is just like, okay, I just I don't understand, but sure. He's 22 currently, so yeah. This season though has been atrocious from him, so you're definitely banking on him like having a little bit more of like what he did in the previous seasons. You know, there are some games where he's at point guard, which is really weird. But yeah, he you know, last season, for example, like he was like something at least. It wasn't great, but he was something. 11.6.5 rebounds, like some defense, like 53% from the field. Like sure, I'll take a chance. I know that like some people were bringing him up as an option in restricted free agency. Well, I definitely would not be trying to get him in restricted free agency. There's no way. Like I don't think it's worth it. But right now, I think he'd be pretty cheap. So I would definitely try to get him. I'm kind of surprised you're interested in Sohan. I mean, I'm not like that interested, but I'd rather have him over like Sexton on the team. Like, just take a chance on him. Like, he sucks, but I don't need Sexton here anyway. So just might as well take a flyer, right? I don't see an issue with it whatsoever. Now, I would, if Ousmane Dieng was here, then I would definitely be out on Sohan. But guess what? Ousmane Dieng is not here because the Bulls are utterly stupid. If you did not know, Ousmane Dieng had 17 points tonight and made 5 threes for the Milwaukee Bucks. So, you know, if Ousmane Dieng was here, then yeah, I'd be like, no, I don't want Sohan here because then he'd be taking minutes away from Dieng. But we don't have that, so I'm just like, might as well. You know, I don't need Sexton here. Just move on from Sexton. What's even the reason behind playing Yabusele? I honestly don't know. He was awful in the first half, and honestly did not really have that good of a game. Bulls fans love him. Bulls fans love Yabusele, and I'm just like, you guys are just utterly stupid. But yeah, apparently the Bulls liked him, so they picked him up for some stupid reason. You didn't really need to trade Dalen Terry. I mean, like, Dalen Terry doesn't have a future of this team, but I'd rather just play him over Yabusele, honestly, at this point. But yeah, I know a lot of people are like, oh no, we love Yabusele, we love his effort and everything. Well, it's just like, okay, well, I mean, Yabusele had a pretty awful game, honestly, in all things considered. So I don't know what it is. But yeah, he's 30. He doesn't make much sense why he's here. If he had a player option, I would be crucifying this front office, but thank God he already declined it. So yeah, I honestly don't understand it. But to answer your question though, Box, like I honestly think the reason why the Bulls got those guys is because they like those guys. Like they actually like Yabusele. They actually like Nick Richards. Don't understand it. They're 28 or older. I don't think they have any part of this team's future. It doesn't make any sense to me. But they just like those guys. So they just wanted to see what they got. which is like kind of the same argument for why Simons and Sexton are starting. Like, it's just like, I don't need these guys starting right now. It doesn't make any freaking sense to start these guys anymore. But I think they like both Simons and Sexton, so therefore it's just like yeah, I guess like they're just gonna play them. So it just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Which I give 25 plus minutes to Lachlan. Sure, yeah, I wouldn't mind that, honestly. I'd be all for it. Like, it's better for the Bulls. Like, I wish Jalen Smith was here because, like, I'd rather just see him play because he's 25 at least, right? Like, he's at least not 28 or 30. But no, it seems like they like those guys a lot, which I don't understand. I understand the Pat minutes. Maybe they think they could salvage him somehow, but Sexton, Yabusai, Richards should be at the bottom of the rotation. And Simons too. Yeah, I honestly don't get it. I could maybe be talking to Simons coming back if they go ahead and trade him like almost immediately, but still, I don't understand why you need to be playing all these minutes. Like, you could still kind of get what you kind of know what you're gonna get from Simons if you play him like 20 minutes a night. But instead, though, we're playing him like 30 plus minutes a night, which is just like, I don't understand. I see Milwaukee telling Giannis to sit out this season. I don't think they're gonna do that personally. I think they're still trying to win, but maybe I'm wrong. Well, it's like we just have to deal with it. I'm fine with that, honestly. I'm fine with we suck for the rest of the season. The season doesn't matter anyway, so might as well get a better draft lottery odds. Real GM Bulls hasn't been dramatic. Are you talking about the account? I don't know. Do I know that account? I'm sorry. I'll have to look into it. Also, looking at the Peyton Watson after you were talking about him a few streams ago, I kind of really liked it. Is there a real chance of that? I really do think there's a real chance. Unfortunately, he did just get injured, and I was hoping that we were going to see Peyton Watson when we played Denver, but I think there's a legit chance. Denver's situation with their cap space is like, it's pretty rough for them. Now, obviously, Denver can make moves, right? So this is the assumption that Denver's not going to make many moves because, like, if you look at the team, for example, right, it's like, I mean, you're not trading any of the top three, right? They could move Cam Johnson. He's had a rough year, so maybe that's their way that they're gonna keep Peyton Watson. But that's a lot of money for a team to still kind of take, right? Like, I mean, it's kind of difficult to kind of figure out. But Denver obviously traded Michael Porter Jr. for Cam Johnson, so biggest issue has been his health. Like, he's still shooting well from 3-point range, obviously, but he hasn't played a lot of games this season. He's only played 30. So maybe that's what they decide to do, honestly. Now the other guy is Christian Brown, but his new contract kicks in next season, so I don't think a team's gonna be willing to take him, honestly. Valanciunas is not guaranteed, so like you could get rid of him, but like still though, it's like that, like getting rid of Valanciunas, it gets swallowed up by Christian Brown's new contract, and plus more. So like it doesn't really help the Nuggets, honestly, in that situation. And so hence here's Peyton Watson, right? And I honestly think if the Bulls like do throw $30 million at him, there's a pretty decent chance you do get him, because I don't think Denver wants to pay $30 million to him, and it would really hurt their like salary cap situation if they do. Which I mean, already like their active cap already for next season is $213 million. Like it's pretty rough. You're already past the first apron, you're close to the second apron already, and you haven't even filled out the rest of your roster. So again, things can change. They can trade guys away and maybe open up that space for him, but I really do think that Peyton Watson's like a legit possibility. And for what I've seen recently, at least, like I know a lot of people like Tari Eason, but if I had to choose between the two of them, I'm probably picking Peyton Watson right now, because I do think he honestly has shown the more upside. Eason has shown like his shooting is off the charts this season. Like Tari Eason's shooting is insane this season. It's like otherworldly, but he's also had some injury issues, and I don't really know how much better he might honestly get when it comes to his offensive game. Like he's shooting 47% from 3-point range, but he's shooting 45% from the field. Which is just like, he's not going to continue shooting 47% from 3-point range. Like that's just not possible. So like, that's the reason why I would choose Peyton Watson personally. Like he's had an insane year. I really wish he just didn't get injured, so we can kind of tell if it was just like a really hot January versus like, is this actually legit? Because, like, he really stepped up when Nikola Jokic went down. Like, he was a humongous reason why the Nuggets were able to kind of tread water. And honestly, still continue to win when Jokic went out. So, but yeah, if I'm choosing between the two of them right now, it's definitely Peyton Watson right now. He's 6'8", can play multiple positions. I know they list him as shooting guard, but he basically plays small forward for them. Again, a steal and a block per game, 15 points per game, 40% from 3-point range. Like, I'm definitely choosing him right now if I was choosing between the two. That's just my opinion. Billy's contract, wasn't there a secret extension a few years ago? I think it was pretty recent, honestly. But yeah, I'll have to double check what it is. But I think he just signed an extension just recently. I'm pretty sure it was like 13 months ago or something like that. It was not that long ago. I think Peyton Pritchard is a goal strength flash for Dillingham. He's still really fast but stronger than Rob is right now. I get what you're saying, but I think Pritchard's entire game though was just different. Like, Pritchard is like predicated on that 3-point shot. Like, everything is based off the 3-point shot, 3-point shot, 3-point shot. So I look at their two games very differently. Like, Pritchard's not the fastest out there. Like, he's more of a methodical kind of driver and definitely does use his strength to try to get into the lane and finish. But his entire game though, like Pritchard's entire game has been based off of his launching threes. So I just look at those two players just differently. And it makes sense for their builds, obviously, right? Like, I think that Pritchard is just bigger. And so obviously he wouldn't be faster than Dillingham. You know, he's like 20 pounds heavier basically. And like Pritchard, like these past 2 seasons has averaged 8 threes and 7 threes per game. Like that's his entire game. Or like that's what his game is built off of, is his shooting. Versus Dillingham, with what we're seeing so far. Now this could change. Now if Dillingham like shows me like no, he actually has that jump shot in him, then I would be 100% in agreement with you that maybe Dillingham should be looking at Peyton Pritchard. But like, Dillingham's been very much not like a 3-point shooter. Like, he's looking to drive first mostly. He's using his speed to gain an advantage. Like, they're just, in my opinion, they're just different players. So, I get what you're saying though, Britt. Like, they're definitely both small, but I just think that their games are completely different. Therefore, the way that Pritchard has built himself is completely different to how I think Dillingham is gonna build himself. So, maybe the goal should be for Dillingham, honestly, to become Peyton Pritchard. Like, maybe that should be the goal instead, but I just think that's going to kill any sort of advantage of him, like, running, off a pick and roll and, like, having some sort of advantage off with the speed, right? But, yeah, it's going to require Dillingham to kind of, like, a complete game change. Now, granted, here's the thing. I didn't watch Dillingham in college, so maybe you guys can tell me, like, maybe he showed different stuff in college versus, what he's shown so far in the NBA. Like, was he more kind of built towards that 3-point shot in college? Because, like, from what I remember, though, I don't think he was. Well, let me know. Maybe I'm just wrong. Upper body work could help his shot, but yeah, keeping his speed is important. I agree. Is it true the Bulls lost a 2nd-round pick from Charlotte for trading them Kobe White? He was injured already or something? Yeah. Kobe didn't pass his physical. They found a left calf strain. And so Charlotte had all the rights. If they just wanted to rescind the trade, they had every right to do so. So like, we actually could have been in like the most horrendous situation, which is that Kobe White comes back to us, and we didn't get anything in return for him, and he just leaves in unrestricted free agency. So yeah, I mean, that would have been horrendous, but it's still just so stupid by the Bulls, because they played Kobe White in that last game before the trade done, or before he got traded, which was against the Bucks. They didn't need to do that, and I just question if maybe Kobe got injured then, and then they trade him to the Hornets. He doesn't pass his physical, and he got injured in that game, and it cost the Bulls a 2nd rounder. So it cost the Bulls a 2029 2nd-round pick. It wasn't really that valuable, but still, it's just stupid. So, yeah, it's just bad by the Bulls. It's so Bulls at the end of the day. Apparently, Dillingham shot like 45% from 3 in college, but of course, it's short of 3. Oh, wow. Okay. That's actually pretty impressive. So hold on. Let me go in and look. I want to look at NBA DraftNet's scouting report. Alright, his jump shot was at 8, yeah. Passing was at 8. Very high rated. Like, again, he was a he was top 8 for a reason. Pretty sure all he needs to see one go on and score. Yeah, okay. I mean, that's actually pretty solid. He shot 44% on 4 attempts. Like, that's pretty solid. Would have liked to see more, but I understand it's college. Okay, maybe that's honestly, maybe Britt is onto something here, that he's gonna maybe have to like kind of build a little bit more like Peyton Watson and try to like bulk up, but it would definitely require a big shift in his game. Like I said, like he would have to, instead of him kind of being like this herky jerky, and he's gonna beat you off the speed with all these quick moves and like quick dribble moves and use his speed to his advantage. He's gonna instead have to like really hone in on that 3-point shot being his like biggest weapon, and then use that 3-point shot advantage to create advantages for his driving ability, and then use his strength to finish. That's gonna have to be his goal then, if that's what he's looking to kind of be. It would still, though, again, it's gonna require him to really change his game. Like, he came in at 165. Like, that's very different for how Peyton Pritchard's built. Pritchard is 195 this season, so obviously, again, I understand that Pritchard's in his 6th year, but it's always been just a different, like even in like Pritchard's like early years, right? Like, you see the emphasis on the 3-ball. Like, it's more most of his shots. Like, it's always been like great 3-point shooter. So the only thing I've got to prove to me first before I'm like maybe fully on board with this sort of idea that we're talking about, which is like him building around that 3-point shot. He's gonna have to show me more in that 3-point shot before I'm gonna be like all in on it. But until now, until further notice, I still think that we need to just kind of buy into his shiftiness, his quickness to be his advantage. He might end up just being like a short-lived career because of that, but at least you're gonna get some value out of him if he can, use that sort of quickness and shiftiness to his advantage and be an effective player for his early years. But even with that being said, he's gonna need to find the 3-point shot at some point. That's just basically necessary for him at this point of his career. So yeah, maybe we'll see it. I'm hoping, because again, like, we don't really fully know just due to his limited minutes. His role was very weird in Minnesota. Not a lot of opportunities with Anthony Edwards there. It's just like, it's very odd for Dillingham. I get it. So I'm gonna have a lot more patience to see if he is gonna be willing to shoot that 3-point shot a lot more and is able to make it. But I mean, at least so far in his Bulls career, it hasn't really exactly been the best. It's been a little bit rough. He came in shooting 25%, which again, it's just, I know it's only like 2 games heading into tonight, but he missed his 2 threes and he hit one off the side of the backboard tonight. So it's a little bit concerning. That's all I have to say. But overall, still a good game. So that's overall good. I'm pleased with it. Ivy was weird tonight, I won't lie. He had a lot of wide open threes that I'm just used to him kind of making. Definitely should have knocked a couple down where he was wide open. But he had some nice drives tonight. Definitely one was like a strength kind of finish. Which is still definitely something that I'm looking at him as like, okay, again, like your overall speed might be gone, like your explosiveness might be gone, but you might have to rely more on your strength moving forward. And so hopefully that's gonna be something that we can maybe rely on. Hold on, I just want to actually look at something like quick. Like, this is definitely something that I'm like personally looking into with Ivy, is like, if his speed and like explosiveness is gone, then the pull-up jump shot is going to be pretty critical for him. And so like heading into tonight, like his pull-up jump shot from 2-point range is like terrific. Shooting over 50% on pull-up shots, like that's terrific. Like that's very good from him. But this is honestly not too bad. Like 35% on pull-up 3-point attempts is honestly not too bad, but it's in limited attempts. Obviously, most of his 3-point attempts are come off the catch and shoot. So I do think that, like, obviously the catch and shoot needs to be like 38% on catch and shoot is solid. It can definitely be better, but it's solid. but I do think that he needs to maybe kind of look into this a little bit more. So that's just be something I'm just gonna be watching from him, because instead of him being maybe less like instead of him being geared towards like how Donovan Mitchell kind of plays, it's instead of that it's gonna be geared towards more how like Jamal Murray plays, which is a lot of just like great jump shooting from Murray. Some good finishes tonight. Definitely a little bit more strength versus obviously burst finishes from him, but it was good to see that he had that nice and one layup, like reverse layup, where he got by his defender. So that was good. I still just want to see him have the ball more, man. Like he's very clearly playing off ball, no matter who's on the floor, which is just very odd to see. But again, a lot of guards out there. Dillingham is definitely, if Dillingham's out there, he should have the ball the most of the time. But I do want to see Ivy get a little more chances with the ball. But some encouraging signs with this driving tonight. The 3-point shot was a little bit weird, but hopefully that's not going to continue. So good things there. Pi actually had a good game. I think Pi honestly did pretty well tonight. He had some methodical drives in that third quarter. I was like, hey, okay. Decent from Pat, 3 steals also, so he was actually active with his hands. And it was a rough kind of first half, honestly, from Pi. Honestly, no, he hit 2 threes in the first half, so maybe it wasn't too rough. But some interesting decisions overall, I would say. But overall, I'm looking. Hopefully, we see more of this from him. But still, I would rather play Buzelis more than Pat at the end of the day, and also give Miller some minutes. I don't think we can say his explosiveness is gone until next year. No, I completely agree. Yeah, like I'm not ready to just count out Ivy's explosiveness being completely gone. And again, like I've been kind of adamant that the further away he gets from that injury, I think the more explosiveness he's gonna get back. I'm just always kind of thinking for the future though, of like, if let's say it doesn't come back, right? Like let's say we're 40 games into next season and it's still not back, then I'm just kind of looking at it like, okay, like what can he do then? His defensive effort is there. There's definitely still some like lack of discipline on defense, but like I do see he tries. His 6'7" wingspan or plus 6'7" plus wingspan does help him there, so that's good. And again, like I talked about, like I think him being a good 3-point shooter is gonna help. He's just gonna have to really kind of like, for him to be effective, he's gonna have to like really change his game. To be like, if he's gonna still try to score like 17 a night, it's gonna have to be a lot more jump shot based, better ball handling skills and more strength finishes versus explosive finishes. But again, I do think he's gonna get some explosiveness back, if not all of it back, once he gets further away from his injury. It's just, I'm always just preparing for the worst in my head. I understand that maybe that's not the way I should be thinking, but that's just the way that I think I'm just kind of viewing Ivy, because I do think the Bulls, with the way that Ivy's played, and now he's back on the bench somehow, which is just ridiculous, but it does help the Bulls potentially, I guess, in his restricted free agency. His restricted free agency in the offseason here, but I don't really think Ivy's gonna get paid a lot. I'd be kind of shocked if he does, honestly. Like if someone's gonna give Ivy $25 million a year, then you just send him away. But I was chatting with some people about Ivy and like what I do think he can potentially get, and like the one guy I was actually looking at was Peyton Pritchard. It was like kind of like a gauge, but my offer would be to Ivy would be like 4 years, like $40 million. The 4th year is partially guaranteed. And the big reason why is because he's come off the bench this season for most of the season, has not looked like his old self. Like he has the argument of like that, year 3 was like very good from him in those 30 games, but the problem is that it was only 30 games. If he had a larger sample size with those 30, like the way when he was playing that well, he would have a better argument. But like the Bulls have like a true kind of negotiating leverage here of like, listen, man, like you haven't been yourself at all this season. You've been mostly a bench player. Like, you're at least shooting well. And I understand that Peyton Pritchard, when he got his rookie extension, was not, averaging what he's averaging now, but he was a bench player when he got his rookie extension. And if you look at Peyton Pritchard's contract, like, it's basically 4 years, 30 million. And so I'm even going farther than that. Like I'm saying, like, you know, I'll give you 4 years, 40 million, partially guaranteed on the 4th year. However, though, I do think that there might be like a middle ground where like the Bulls, like him and Ivy, or the Bulls and Ivy come to like about $15 million per year. If that is the case, then I've talked about it as like, I do want that to be a 3-year deal then. Yeah, I'm fine with it being fully guaranteed if that's the case, but I would rather be a 3-year deal if it's like $15 million per year or more. I think past that, though, it doesn't make any sense because $15 million is mid-level exception money this upcoming offseason. So going past mid-level exception money doesn't make much sense for the Bulls with the way Ivy's played. Yeah, like if the Bulls are going to pay him like $18 million per year, I'm like, I don't think it's worth it. Unless Ivy obviously pops in these last like 20-something games here, like it just isn't worth it. Because again, he's back on the bench now. Like, he's behind Colin Sexton now in the guard depth. So I'm just like, okay, if you're officially like just a bench player for the rest of the season, like 4 years, 40 million sounds pretty nice, honestly. Like if you can agree to 4 years, like 48 million, like yeah, sure, like that's fine. That's fine for me. Like that's not money that's gonna kill the Bulls if like Ivy doesn't get back to his form. Like that's very tradable still. And obviously it gives Ivy some long-term financial security here. So I think it's honestly, it's a good kind of middle ground. 15 million definitely just scares me. Like I said, I would rather have it be a 3-year contract than if it's $15 million per year. So it'd be 3 years, 45 million. Like, okay. But past that, I think it's not worth it. And again, this is just today. Things can change. If Ivy, you know, pops, you know, the last 15 games of the season, then obviously that's going to change the evaluation. But for now, though, this is just what I think. And that's fine. The Bulls are going to have an incentive to try to get Ivy's contract done early because Ivy's cap hold is $30 million. So the quicker you can get rid of that cap hold, which means that, you know, sign him to his new contract because this new contract won't be $30 million a year. The quicker you're going to get that salary cap space to use. So the Bulls have an incentive to try to get it done quickly, which is kind of annoying. But hopefully the Bulls and Ivy can just come to like a quick decision, just be like, okay, you know what, like if you want 4 years, 44 million, okay, good, let's move on, because that basically opens up like $19 million of cap space then for the Bulls to use. So I'm very much just like, I hope the Ivy deal gets done and it's fair and we just move on from it quickly, and then we can start using that free agency money to go and get a Peyton Watson or whoever else we're looking to go and get. That's just my opinion, though. Things obviously change. Things change quickly when it comes to this sort of stuff. But yeah, that's kind of my gauge with Ivy. Like, Ivy is not, like, in these games so far. Now, again, I haven't watched that Brooklyn game, so people have to let me know how you played in that Brooklyn game. But it's not like he's playing bad in these games. Like, Ivy, like, he'll hit, like, at least, like, 3 or 4 shots every game. He'll show some, like, jump shot ability in every single game, besides maybe tonight. But he did hit 1 3. His defense doesn't look like that awful. Like, he tries very clearly, but it's almost like lack of discipline in certain instances versus like he just doesn't have the ability to guard guys. Like, that's like some encouraging signs when it comes to Ivy. The thing that is like kind of like questionable for me at least is just like there was a moment in tonight's game where Ivy, like, he was like, it was off like a Bull steal. He was kind of like the one guy that had the potential just to run him down the floor because he was ahead of all the other Bulls, and he could have ran down the floor and put pressure on the defense. And maybe he tries to go up for a layup, or maybe he doesn't. But like, I was looking for him to run and like put pressure on the Boston defenders, who only had 2 back at that one point. But like, he kind of just didn't do that. He decided to pull it back out, and he threw it to Patrick Williams, who was trailing, and people got a layup off of it. But it was just like, that to me was just not what I've seen from Jaden Ivey in his first 3 years. Like, that's not the Ivy I know. The Ivy I know would be like, he would take that and try to, you know, force it down the lane, or try to force it down in the fast break, and if it didn't work out, then, you know, it is what it is. Like, he'll pass it back out. But he would have definitely tried to go and score that. and uses speed and quickness and explosiveness to try to finish that layup. So that's just like the things I'm just like kind of concerned about when I see that. Now, maybe Ivy just understands like where his body is right now. Like maybe it's just like, okay, like he just doesn't have it right now, therefore he's not going to try to do those things, which is very smart of him, and I appreciate that. I just hope to see, though, at least some point before the season's over, that he's going to have more confidence in his body, be explosive and look to attack guys off the dribble. So that's just my hope. Again, if we don't ever see it, that's totally fine, and then hopefully we see it next season, which I think there's a significantly better chance we see it next season. But the way I at least in kind of my head, if you guys remember the Zach LaVine, when LaVine got injured, or it was the year that LaVine had his like knee surgery in the offseason, and like he came back, and you could definitely tell LaVine in like the first like 30-ish games it just wasn't himself. Like the explosiveness just wasn't there typical from Zach, but he was like shooting the shit out of the ball though still. But like you just definitely could tell like the explosiveness that we're used to seeing just wasn't there. Now he's 6'6", so like he has a little bit more kind of freedom, like, or like, you know, leeway when it comes to like if he's not as explosive. Like he still has that, you know, height advantage over a guy like Ivy. Ivy now for him this season, this was what, game 36 I believe for him tonight. So Ivy, like he had to recover from that broken fibula, obviously. It was game 37 tonight. He had to recover from that broken fibula, but then he also had that arthroscopic knee surgery to start the season. So not only is he recovering from a broken fibula, he was also recovering from a knee surgery from the start of the season. So that's kind of the reason why I'm just trying to calculate in my head of just like, okay, you know, he's not LaVine because he's not 6'6", and LaVine had uber athleticism versus maybe Ivy just has like really good athleticism. But either way, though, my point is that like it took LaVine some time throughout that season to kind of like get that sort of explosiveness back. It's now game 37 for Ivy, so I'm gonna kind of maybe wait around till like game 50 for him. Is like that might be kind of like the time where I'm like hoping that some athleticism or that explosiveness and athleticism does like show. Not saying fully, obviously. I'm just saying that I just need to see some of that maybe then. It's like, okay, or if I see it then I'm like, hey, we're on a good track, because that to me then points out. Sorry, hit my monitor. That to me like indicates like, oh, he's getting it back. It just took some time. And you know, as he continues to get more games and further away from the injury, he's gonna have a full off season being healthy and working on his game. Come then next season, I'm gonna expect him to have some pretty good athleticism back in his arsenal. So I'm gonna probably wait until around like game 50 here, as just kind of like a benchmark, just to kind of see where he's at. He's gonna get some rest, obviously, as everyone on the team is for this All-Star break here. So I'm hoping that we see like around game 50 for him this season. It's gonna show something. So I'll just be watching him. He's a guy I'm really intrigued by. Hence why I've talked about him for about 10 minutes here. So hope you guys understand. Like I don't want Ivy to fail, obviously. I want him to succeed. Like he's a guy that I've always liked. It's just that I'm very much aware of what he's done this season. So I'm hoping that he's gonna show the athleticism that we're used to seeing at some point this season. If not, again, we'll be okay. Have you looked into draft prospects yet, or are you not in the offseason mode yet? Unfortunately, I haven't really looked into anybody. I feel bad. There's Justin has been, or I guess it is, but yeah, I definitely have not really done too well with looking into some draft prospects. I need to do better. Yeah, I guess it's Tyler on here, but he's in this chat, but he's been messaging me on Twitter about like prospects and stuff. I just haven't had the time to really look into it, so I do apologize. But yeah, I think March Madness is going to be probably my best time to look into that sort of stuff. But even with that being said, just with the amount of schoolwork I have, and you know, I still keep up with the NBA every single night, it's gonna be tough for me. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm not gonna be that that educated when it comes to the draft stuff when the season's going on. Now, after the season's over, obviously, then that's when I do most of my research. That's going to be the time I'm going to really look into some guys. So, obviously, we won't have post-game streams then, but if you want to message me on like Twitter or Discord or something, then that'll be probably the best chance to talk to me about some prospects. So, interested in is it, how do you even say that? It's Steinbach, right? But how do you say his first name? Is it Hans? I've heard of his name. I just have not. I don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry. And number 10, if he's available. Okay. Yeah. My go-to is DraftNet. I don't know how legit DraftNet is though. Like I when I do my actual research, I look at a ton of mock drafts. I just don't look at. I don't only look at just DraftNet. So yeah. This was last updated today. So here's the most recent mock draft for DraftNet. And so wait, what the fuck? This can't be right. Like the Bulls should be here. Okay, this is very confusing because like for some reason this says that this is like San Antonio's still getting the Bulls pick here. I don't know why it's okay, so this is still just wrong in general. That's so odd. What the fuck am I looking at? Okay, anyway. Yeah, maybe I definitely shouldn't be looking at this website because their mock draft's already wrong. But yeah, I look at everyone's mock drafts. Ricky O'Donnell, someone I look at. I do look at all the CBS's mock drafts, which I maybe probably shouldn't be doing that moving forward, but I do look at those guys and obviously anything that NBA.com released. So I'll be looking. Steinbach. I don't see him on here. Oh, here he is. Six foot 10, 225. Okay, got it. I'll keep an eye on him. Yeah, I'll definitely be keeping an eye on him moving forward. This is a guy. I don't know what are you guys' thoughts on this guy, but Wagler. Now, I already know it's like, oh, Illinois product, like, or from University of Illinois, like, yeah, of course, like the Bulls are gonna want him or whatever. But I don't know, like there's some people that were talking about him recently. It's like so like it's so polarized in the opinion of him. Again, I have not really watched him at all, but you know, there's been some talk about his like kind of like, you know, he's kind of like a big guard in a sense, but he's also like not the biggest in terms of his overall weight. He does a lot, like he's like putting up some pretty consistent numbers, but like there's like a lot of talk still about like weaknesses in his game. So like let me know. Like I'm all for any sort of knowledge you guys can give me, because like, you know, I think you guys are honestly the experts when it comes to the draft stuff. I'm very much not. I'm nowhere near what I should be when it comes to this sort of with the draft. I'll be better up to speed again come the off season, but for now though, just yeah, I don't really know. So yeah, I'll keep some names in mind. But unfortunately, like past like Michael Brown, I don't really know like any of these guys, honestly. It's like, I mean, I'm very much aware of Caleb Wilson. Very much aware of him. Michael Brown, I've heard of him throughout the year. And obviously the top three and, you know, Fleming's as well. But yeah, past that, I'm just like, I'm kind of clueless. So, you guys let me know. Bulls right now. Okay, so this is the pick that they're projecting. I'm so confused to why they still have the Bulls pick going to San Antonio here. It's just, yeah. Here's where the Bulls are projected to go right now with their new second round pick that they got. Wait, no, that's incorrect as well. It should be here. Huh. It should be here. Okay, yeah. DraftNet sucks. Okay, we'll have to do something else to look at. We'll have something else to look at. There's a mock draft because like the Bulls pick should be here because we have this pick that we got back in the Vucevic trade. So weird, honestly, very weird. All right, so with tonight being wrapped up, I'm pleased to say that we're Bulls are heading to the All-Star break. And honestly, it could not come in a better time. I'm pretty swamped with school. I won't lie. let me tell you, it sucks missing games just because of school. I've had to do it on Monday nights, and it bothers the shit out of me, but I have to do it. But I'm also just in general, there's just a ton of schoolwork right now for me, so I'm like very much looking forward to just this break. One, to kind of get away from some of the drama on Twitter when it comes to Bulls Nation, because like holy shit, I cannot believe what was happening with that. Two, to get away from the team a little bit. You know, as much as I love watching Matas Buzelis every single night, I do think that you know, getting away from this team, it can kind of help my mental health a little bit. So I'm very much looking forward to this break, honestly. It's a good time, and I think a lot of players are also looking forward to this break. You know, you're definitely kind of in the dog days of the season, so hopefully a lot of people are gonna get their rest. But I'm looking forward to it, honestly. I'm just looking forward to just getting a week off and kind of getting a little mental reset and come back and finish strong for the season here. Who's also be in the Rising Stars game, so if there's any day to tune in for All-Star Weekend, if you're a Bulls fan, it's definitely it's Friday night. Buzelis is in it, but also Mac McClung is also playing, if you care about Mac McClung being on a 2-way contract with the Bulls. So tune in Friday night, and then honestly I don't really think anything else really matters. Caleb Williams is doing a 3-point celebrity contest, so if you want to tune into that, maybe. But yeah, honestly, I'm really kind of questioning how this All-Star game is going to look now, especially because Steph Curry's out for the All-Star game. Like, I think a lot of people go to the All-Star game to watch Steph Curry launch 3-point shots from like half court. As the players don't try anyway, so if there's anything that we want to see, at least, is that we want to see players like Steph Curry launch 3-point shots from like 40 feet out. And unfortunately, we do not get to see that this All-Star game. So yeah, I don't really know how I'm going to feel about it. I'm also concerned that like Luka's not going to play either. SGA is already out. We know Giannis is already not playing. Luka's missed the last 2 games or 3 games, honestly, I think, for the Lakers. So like I'm concerned he's not playing. So yeah, I'm just really concerned, honestly, about what the team's going to look like, honestly, especially for the World, because the World's going to be missing some key pieces. But I don't think the players are going to try, honestly. I hope they do, but I don't think they're going to try. So yeah, just concerned, honestly, but we'll see how this is going to go. Thanks for rolling out, Madison. Yeah, well, let's keep it up, man. Undisputed is the most toxic Bulls fan on Twitter. Oh, bro, he's something else, man. He is something else. I cannot stand that guy. I have him muted at this point. I kept him unmuted just because I was just like, I was just kind of interested in what he would tweet out at me. Like this dude would reply to all my message or all my tweets, like it just nonstop. Like he has no life, honestly. It's insane. I think I'm on Twitter a ton. I tweet a lot, and this guy is like replying to like every single Bulls tweet possible. It's just insane. But I was like, I kept him like unmuted for a while, but I had to mute him just because like he's not actually looking for a conversation. He's looking for a way to flame you, pretty much. It's just like, okay, you don't want to have any sort of nuanced basketball conversations with him. It's just terrible. He also just says shit that is just wrong. Like there was, after the Pelicans, I maybe I already said this on this channel, but after the Pelicans, like the most recent Pelicans games for the Bulls, where the Bulls finally beat the Pelicans for the first time this season. Like, it took fucking forever. It took 3 tries. But I'm talking about this win here. But the Bulls didn't beat the Pelicans until their 3rd time facing them. And then after that game, I tweeted out saying that, well, the Bulls finally beat the Pelicans. It should have already happened earlier this season, but at least they finally did it. And he replied to that tweet saying, like, well, the Bulls had a lot of guys out during those games, so I don't really buy too much into that. Like they just had a bunch of injuries. The problem with that sort of statement is that it's false. In this game here, and this was the second time the Bulls faced the Pelicans, where they lost 114 to 104. The Bulls only had 1 player missing in that game, and it was Ayo Dosunmu. You had Josh Giddey, you had Kobe White, you had Nikola Vucevic, Matas Buzelis is playing, so is Isaac Okoro, Zach Collins was playing, Trey Jones was playing, Jalen Smith was playing. Everyone was playing, but you're only missing Ayo Dosunmu. So this guy Undisputed is just like, he's just spitting nonsense. He's not actually spitting any facts. He doesn't do his research. I didn't call him out on it because I knew that if I got into like a flat out an argument about that and show why he was wrong, that he would turn it into like, oh, you're just a hater. Like, how you're always looking for a way to hate on the team. Like, that's immediately what he jumps to. And I'm just like, okay, like, sorry to call out your bullshit because what you just stated was completely wrong in the first place. Like, you said the Bulls had a lot of injuries in those games and the Bulls were missing one player in their second loss to the Pelicans in that game. So you're just wrong. But to then also do the whole bullshit of like, oh, we think that if you're hating, you're not analyzing, therefore you have no right to actually analyze the team because you're just straight up a hater. You don't actually analyze the team. Like, it automatically goes to that. And I'm just like, okay, I'm done with these people. Which is honestly there was kind of the big drama of the Bulls Nation's like content creators this week has been kind of the whole argument again, which I talked about in the last stream that I had. But it is just, wow, man. Sorry to be criticizing a front office that has legitimately done nothing since they've gotten in here. I apologize. I'm criticizing this franchise who very clearly does not really care about winning or actually try to build a contender. And I already know that these people are trying to say like, oh, if you're pointing out like the front office has done all these bad moves, like you don't have fun watching this team, like you're just straight up hate watching. It's like, that's just false. Like, it's such a shit argument to be like, oh, if you don't like where this team's direction is going, you're just straight up a hate watcher. Like, you're not even watching the game for enjoyment or whatever. Like, shut up first and foremost. Like, you're already doing, like, you're gatekeeping like the fan base, which is already your argument against why you think that people that are haters shouldn't be haters. Is just like, you think that haters are already gatekeeping the fans that have fun watching the games and enjoy the games. Like, that's already your argument in the first place. But then you're now saying like, oh, if you're a hater though, you shouldn't be watching the games anyway. Like, you have no right to talk. Like, you're gatekeeping already, which is already just like a pure hypocrisy from you. But also, you're just wrong. I thoroughly enjoy watching Montes Buzelis every single night. Every night. Like, this Bulls team's going nowhere, but I enjoy watching Montes Buzelis every single night. And with this trade deadline, with all the moves, like, I enjoy trying to like evaluate these players. I truly enjoy evaluating Dillingham and Ivy and, you know, all the young players that we have right now. Like, I truly enjoy evaluating those guys. Just because I enjoy evaluating those guys, though, does not mean that I do not have the right to criticize this franchise and its front office. Okay? Like, I can enjoy certain parts of this franchise, but I can also heavily criticize where it's absolutely due. Okay? Like, I don't know why this has suddenly become such an issue. And according to some people, I'm part of the poison in the Bulls Nation fan base, which I don't understand. But either way, okay? Like, we have eyes. All right? Like, people have brains. All right? And to be claiming that people are hating when this front office has done jack shit, like, I don't know what to say. Like, that basically kind of tells me that, like, somehow, some way, if this Bulls team went 0-82 when they were, like, truly trying to, like, actually win or whatever, and they went 0-82, like, somehow, some way, these people are still going to be praising this front office in terms of, like, yeah, we're doing a great job. Or let's say, for example, the Bulls went 0-82 and they traded the first round pick, or their first overall pick. Like, somehow, some way, like, these people are going to somehow spin it and be like, oh, you're a hater. Like, that's just, like, I just don't get it. Like, it mind boggles me how people are just like, no, your conclusion's invalid. You're just a hater. Therefore, your analysis is invalid. You're not actually analyzing the game. When it's just like, no, we have eyes. We have brains. Like, we can have fun watching Montes Buzelis every single night. I'm enjoying watching Rob Dillingham try to figure it out. Like, I'm actually truly enjoying that. But also be very much aware that I don't see how this team's going to get a star in the future right now. So right now, it seems pretty grim. We also don't have any extra first-round picks besides our own and maybe the Portland pick, right? That's not good. Like, we can definitely be in a much better spot right now. But, you know, people are going to just be like, no. Like, you're a hater. I'm like, why is that hating? Like, I just think we're just spitting facts at this point. And look, I think the biggest thing out of it all that bothers me is like, if you're one of the people that are like extremely positive about this team moving forward, like you always look at this team as like glass half full, and like you're looking as like, oh, Giddey's gonna turn into an actual all-star, or Buzelis is truly gonna be a superstar. The Bulls draft situation looks great because they own all their first round picks. They have a lot of salary cap this upcoming off season. Like, if you're looking at it in that lens, good for you. I'm not stopping you. I'm not here to stop you at all. Okay, but that's never been the whole point of this channel. The whole point of my channel is to talk basketball and give my opinion and talk to you guys about my opinion, okay? If you have a different opinion, that's your opinion. Now, I would hope that you would back it up with respectable evidence, okay? Because I think that's the best way to have a nuanced conversation, right? But if you're just being like, oh, you're just a hater, how dare you think I'm just gonna be positive, you're just a hater. That's not nuanced conversation, okay? That's not basketball conversation that we want to have in this channel. Like, we want to actually have like good back and forth conversation, even if there is a disagreement on this channel. And I can't stand this whole, just all of a sudden now part of the fan base that's like basically trying to like isolate the people like they're claiming are like the haters or the constant overwhelming haters, but it's just like, no. We're legitimately pointing things out and of like valid reasons for why we are very critical of this front office right now and why we're pretty negative about this team's future. Like we're giving actual answers and like actual evidence for why like we're very concerned about this team's future. Yet the only comeback to that is just like, oh, you're just a hater. You're not like, how dare you not be positive? We're the ones being positive though, so people should listen to us. Like, you didn't give any sort of like supportive evidence for yourselves of why we should not be thinking this way. What's your fucking counter argument? All you have is just saying it's like, no, we just want to be positive. You guys are poisoning the fan base. Like, that's all you have? Like, that's bullshit. I don't want to talk basketball with you then. And I honestly, it makes me really think low of your basketball IQ if that's the way you're gonna be talking. Okay, so I'm really frustrated with how Bulls Nation has gotten like severely divided, but I'm more so frustrated in the fact that now there are people leading the charge of like, it's almost like a cult where it's like, oh, like we need to find all the negative Nancy's in Bulls Nation and basically get them out of here. Like, what are you trying to do? Like, you're basically saying that, like, oh no, like this front office has like been pretty fine and we're gonna be positive, therefore you can't be any sort of negative or can't criticize at all, therefore we want to get you kicked out of Bulls Nation. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You're gatekeeping. Like, what the fuck is that? Okay? I'm a Bulls fan, major Bulls fan, but I'm also extremely critical of this front office. I have every right to be that. Okay? And everybody else that has that sort of opinion has every right to be that way as well. Just because we criticize this front office and this franchise a lot does not mean that we are just straight up haters and that we do not bring actual analysis. Because in all honesty, like, to be dead serious, like, I actually think the people that are being blamed the haters and, you know, people are like, that people are claiming as being poison, I actually think they bring the better analysis. Like, they're the ones that actually like give the most effort in terms of true analysis, and they talk basketball terminology more. But that's my opinion at the end of the day. So yeah, it's insane with what I've seen recently. I don't think Bulls Nation should be gatekeeping at all in any sort of fashion. I think if someone is overwhelmingly positive, then that's their opinion. If someone is overwhelmingly negative, that's their opinion. Like, so what? They're not poison. That's their opinion at the end of the day. And they actually have like good evidence to back it up, then like, hey, that's a true opinion to have. What's really more bothersome right now is that I don't think the people that are trying to be positive really have much evidence to support their argument. Therefore, they just keep going to like, oh, you're poison, you're poison, you're poison. So, again, it is what it is. But yeah, you know what? I'll leave it there. I'll let you guys kind of look into it. Watch Olympic hockey over the break. That's good. Yeah, epitome of touch grass with that dude. Oh god, yeah. Go on, Tarot King. Twitter guys are knuckleheads. Oh yeah, it's so annoying to try to talk to some of these Twitter heads. Also, I don't know if you guys have seen there's a Twitter account also in Bulls Nation that is just very much like they're like Julian Phillips. They're like big Julian Phillips fans. And they basically every single day their job is like for what they do, like they don't even have a blue check mark. So like that shows that they don't even get paid to get like impressions or whatever. It's straight up just hating for just cuz they hate. But they're basically posting like Matas Buzelis like lowlights because they were such big Julian Phillips fans, and like they have like this conspiracy theory that like Buzelis like said something to the front office and like kicked Phillips out, and that's the reason why the Bulls front office traded Phillips or something. It's just like, oh god, man, it's so frustrating. Starting to tank 40 games into the season, yeah, that's pretty awful by this front office, isn't it? Yeah. How dare we be educated fans, honestly. Undisputed reminds me of Peter Bukowski. Who is that? I'm so sorry. I probably should know that. I just don't know that. If that's a pop culture reference, I definitely don't know that. If that was a former Bulls account, then I'm sorry, I don't know that. I've had different opinions than you, Duncan, and I try to back it up with some sort of evidence. It's like a societal problem. It definitely is. Yeah, I 100% agree with it. It's a societal issue. I mean, yeah, but to be clear, Ryan, like I think that you and I have had like very good conversations on here. Like even when we disagree, like it's still like we're still talking good basketball. So Peter Bukowski is a Kool-Aid drinking Packers fan who misuses advanced stats. Oh, it's that guy. Ah, okay, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Now, here's the thing, though. Undisputed doesn't even use like advanced stats, honestly. He's just saying whatever he wants to say. So like he's not even like trying to like use any sort of evidence to back up his claims. Like it's one thing, I guess, to kind of use advanced stats and like come to the wrong conclusion, but it's also just a whole other thing, in my opinion, to just like say whatever you want to say and like you have no evidence to support it whatsoever. So yeah, that guy is something else, man. I don't think he has a life. Like I think I'm on Twitter a lot, but that guy's on Twitter 24/7. It feels like. Like he'll reply to like one of my tweets like in 5 a.m. in the morning or something, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know, but yeah, it's odd. People have their lives, and you know what? I'm not gonna judge too much, but Jesus, man, it's quite interesting how people live their lives. So either way, though, again, like I said, I'm glad to just get away from all this for a little bit, get a week off. NASCAR is also starting up this upcoming weekend, so I'm looking forward to that. So we get to, Super Bowl's over, so no more football. Glad to see Seahawks won, by the way. NASCAR starting up, and so we get a week off of basically basketball, because we'll see about the All-Star game, how it works, but no games to be played. So I'm looking forward to it. Focus on school a little bit more, and hopefully Billy Donovan gets his shit together during the break and understands how to distribute the minutes. I think he lives in some dead end town in Indiana with nothing to do. He just needs to move to Northwest Indiana or Indy and find some hobbies. So I'm not going to confirm the source, but I've been told something similar to that, and I think that person has had much more evidence to back up their claim. Yeah. NASCAR is interesting for a change with Chase and more horsepower. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. The Chase change is good. I know a lot of fans are still upset because it's not the 36 race point system, but I don't know. To those fans that think that way, it's just like every single major sport has a playoff format, and every single team goes into that format 0-0. So, I'm personally in favor of the Chase, personally. Like, I understand the previous format sucked. Like, I definitely understood it. Like, the one race for the championship at Phoenix was garbage. Like, that was awful. This format, though, I'm pretty happy about. I like the format. I like how they Give the leader in points at the end of the regular season a pretty big boost in terms of where they are in the standings at the end of the year. I think it's pretty good. So, and yeah, the horsepower change, unfortunately I want it to be 750 at least for every single track. Like, I don't know why we can't do 750 horsepower and we go to like, I don't know, like we go to like Kansas, like a mile and a half track, for example. Like, it's a mile and a half, but like we can't do 750. It's so stupid. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the 750 horsepower in the short tracks and the road courses. Those are gonna be good. That should be good for sport. I have a theory though that I think Shane Van Gisbergen is gonna destroy everyone on the road courses now, because like SVG was already doing that, but like now you just added more horsepower to the car, and he's like already the best breaker into like he already carried the most speed into a corner and accelerate the best off a corner. So you just added more horsepower for him. Like, I don't know. I feel like they just gave SVG an even bigger advantage on the road courses when he was already the best. So that'll be fun to watch if he can still keep up that road course king title. But I know Zilich is coming in. But yeah, I'm looking forward to NASCAR this season. I think the format's good. I wish somehow, some way we can convince everybody to at least get to 750 horsepower on all the tracks, but I know we won't. Also, can we remove the restrictor plate off the super speedways, man? Like, it's already 670 horsepower in the super speedways, or sorry, and just a general car. Why do we need to cut it down even more? Like, I just don't need this car cut down even more horsepower on super speedways. It's already slow. Like, please, man. I understand that they're so concerned for safety reasons, but like, we ran restrictor plates when it was like 910 horsepower or whatever, and it was like cutting down the horsepower to like in the 700s. Like, we were fine. Like, we can run 670 horsepower on a super speedway. It's okay. But NASCAR won't do it, of course, because the freaking France family is stupid. But looking forward to F1. Oh, it's on Apple TV. I did not know that, actually. Okay, I actually might watch some F1 then if it's on Apple TV. That's good. 2026 new chassis and engines. I'm looking forward to seeing how they work. The testing didn't look too good for what I saw, but yeah, it should. I'm hoping it's better. I understand though it's a spec car, so it's so tough to try to get any sort of advantage in a spec car. But yeah, I'm hoping that there's gonna be some significant changes to that, because there was so much drag on the car last season. I was just like, oh god. No one could pass on a short track, so I still think restrictor plates will go away because Talladega and Bobby Allison's wreck back in the 80s. I definitely understand that's the reason why, but my point is though is that maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that when NASCAR was like at like 910 horsepower, like, you know, like 2011 through like, I don't even know what it was, but it's like the last year was like 2014 of it. But I think that year when they ran the restrictor plates, like I think it only cut down to like 700 horsepower. So like we're already below that number on just the normal horsepower already, because it's 670. Like that's the normal horsepower for the car. So it's like we're running a restrictor plate for 670 horsepower, which means like it gets cut down to like 550. So I'm just like, why? Like that's so low. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm like completely wrong. But like I'm pretty sure I'm right, because back in like 2014, like guys would be running like 215 at Talladega still, like if they got the right draft. Which now it's like if you could get up to 200, like you're doing something right. So, but the car almost ended up in a state. I mean, look, NASCAR avoided an absolute like devastating. Like that may have been the day NASCAR ended. Honestly, I understand that. Like I completely understand why they're scared, like from that wreck. But like we're nowhere near that horsepower. Like they were running significantly faster cars back then still. And that was without a draft. Like, or I guess the draft was in effect, but like it wasn't like how we're watching it in today where it's pack racing, right? So that's the reason why I'm just like, why can't we just like add in some horsepower again? It'll be fun. But we won't get it. I get it. Either way, though, the duels are tomorrow, so I'm gonna be taking my evening to watch the duels tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. Which obviously that's the qualifying for the 500. So we'll see who gets in and who doesn't. And I'm hoping that, I don't know. I'm definitely hoping for some like random luck here, but I'm just hoping the short track package looks a lot better this season. So Oh man, it's 56 almost ended auto race because of the car killing almost 100 people. Yeah. I'm aware there's a lot of travesties in sports that I don't, or in racing specifically, I don't fully know. That, God, I think I know that one. Like, I know that 56 is so old, like way back when, but I'm trying to remember like if I watched the video on that. I think I did. It was like a piece of the car like came off and like it like basically like decapitated like a bunch of people. That was when people were like standing like near the track, so like there's that. But or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that was a different crash. I'm remembering. Yeah, I understand like racing's scary. Like Daytona's like even past like in more recent, or sorry, in like more recent years for Daytona, like there's definitely been some scary wrecks. Like the Austin Dillon wreck, in the Coke Zero 400. Like I don't remember what year it was. I think it was like 55. Okay, got it. But the Austin Dillon wreck in like I don't remember what year it was specifically, but like he, like you know, last lap, like coming to the finish line, and like he just gets launched. Like somehow he was on the inside, he was near the apron, and somehow gets launched into the catch fence. And yeah, no issues. Honestly, it's incredible what technology has done, but I understand still, like, that's still scary. Like, I get it. You know, parts and pieces go flying into the stands, and, you know, that's where all your fans are, and so NASCAR's held liable if someone gets injured. I understand completely. Like, yeah, there's still definitely some scary bits and pieces of even racing today with the low horsepower, but, yeah, I'm still just like, I think we should just still increase it. It was better racing back then. What I will say though is this: like, if we cannot increase the horsepower in super speedways, then like we need to increase the horsepower in all the other tracks. Like, so if we can get up to like higher horsepower on all the other tracks, and like, yeah, I'll be totally fine for running like 500 horsepower on super speedways. That's fine. But the horsepower around the other tracks needs to go up. So 750 is a good start. Have you started looking more into draft prospects now? I have not done that. Sorry, Noel. No, I haven't really. I have not really taken the time to do so. I might actually take some time during this All-Star break. We'll see. Again, I'm pretty swamped with some of my schoolwork right now, so we'll see if I have some time to do it. But yeah, right now no. But I promise you that at least. Maybe I shouldn't promise, but I should be looking at some prospects during March Madness, and then off-season is definitely the time for me when I have like the most amount of time available for me, and I can go ahead and look. So you can always start after March Madness. I can. But yeah, the off-season is just the best time for me. It's just the most amount of time I have. So assuming the Bulls don't make it like past the play-in tournament, which they really shouldn't. They honestly shouldn't even be in the play-in tournament with the way that Milwaukee, you know, Milwaukee should pass them, but who knows? But yeah, it's gonna have to be off season. So yeah, message me on Twitter, or like during the off season if you want to talk about prospects with me. Like message me on Twitter, or message me on Discord. Like that's probably the best. Like because I'm not gonna be like doing like post-game streams during the off season, obviously. So yeah. But I probably will be. I do think though that I probably will be like streaming some like in some sort of fashion in the off season. It just might not be like on this channel only. Like, I'll probably have some streams during the off season on this channel, obviously for the Bulls. But I really do want to try to like get my like gaming channel like actually going, because I know I've said I'm gonna keep doing it, and it hasn't really done. I haven't done much with it, so that's kind of my goal. Because like Valorant's gonna be in like full effect and everything, so I wanna kind of do some stuff. Where do you realistically think the Bulls can end up on the draft board? I feel like 7 is the most likely spot again. So when I look at the standings, like I don't think 7th is like even possible for the Bulls. I think the highest we're probably gonna get is just 9th. Because like I do think Milwaukee will pass us, and then it's gonna be a race between us and Memphis. But like Memphis, they traded Jaren Jackson Jr., so like I don't really see us getting past them. Dallas is 100% tanking the rest of the season because they just traded Anthony Davis away, and you know they're just losing. So That's the reason why I think the highest we get is 9th. I think maybe 8th is the best. But in either scenario, right, like then if let's say the Bulls are 8th, like let's say we head into the draft lottery at 8th, like we're here, we can't get the 7th overall pick. That's not possible. The only picks we could get are 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 12th, 13, I think. Or something along those lines. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. So, sorry, hold on. No, it'd be 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. That's what it would be. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. We cannot get 7th in that sort of scenario. The only way we can get 7th is if we're 7th worst or better. That's the only way we can get the 7th overall pick. So I do not expect us to pass Dallas in the tank standings. I'd be very shocked if we did. Utah, there's no way in hell because they need to keep their pick in the top 6, I believe. And that's to make sure the pick doesn't go to OKC, or maybe it's like top 8 or whatever it is. But Utah is 100% tanking the rest of the season because their pick, if they don't keep their pick, it goes to OKC. It's protected in a certain amount. So, all right, it's 1 through 8. Yeah, so it's 1 through 8 basically. So yeah, I don't expect Utah to. We're not gonna pass Utah. Again, I think Dallas just continues just to take L's. So there's I don't think we're gonna pass them. So it's up to Memphis and Milwaukee for us to pass. If we can get to Memphis, I'll be pretty happy. If we can get to 8, I'll actually be like pretty satisfied with our tank. But yeah, I don't think we can get any higher than that, honestly. So if I had to guess, I think the Bulls get to 9th, and then we somehow fall back to 10th in the lottery, because that means one team behind us jumped up into the top 4. So that's my prediction, is that we have the 9th best odds, so we're going to be here, and then we fall back to 10th because one of these teams behind us is going to jump up into the top 4, because that's our luck. That's 100% just our luck when it comes to yeah, no, that's better than having us be like 12th or 13th or 14th. So it gives us a higher chance, as you can see here. Like if we're top 9, right, there's a 20.3% chance we get a top 4 pick versus a 13.9% chance. So pretty significant odd boost, right? Like you'd rather be here versus being here. Yeah, keep losing, get past Milwaukee in the tank standings. So yeah. Number 7 best case scenario is what you're saying? Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think we get there just because I think Dallas is like basically taking the rest of the season. So we're pretty far behind them. Like we're 3.5 games behind them. So that's tough to make up, I think, but maybe it's possible. Yeah. And then this draft still good. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Like I'd rather obviously be picking 10th versus picking 13th, right? Which is, I know a lot of Bulls fans want us to like be picking around here, right? Because like 13th right now is not even like 500. Like it's actually like it's 3 games under. Like the Charlotte Hornets are cruising, but you know, like they're here, and you know it was very possible the Bulls finished 3 games under 500 for the season. So yeah, I'm very much just like, no, we should just be, which is what we're doing. So or it's 4 games under 500, I should say. But yeah. I don't think we can get to 7th, honestly. I really don't. 8th, I think might be possible. Just because when it comes to 8th, like Memphis is kind of weird because they still have Ja there. Like they might actually still try a little bit, but I feel like Memphis is also just like kicked off their rebuild, honestly. So I find it hard to believe that they're gonna somehow win more games than us, but I hope so. I like top 3, obviously. Yeah, I mean, obviously we want top 3 or 4. Like top 3 or 4 is great. Top 3 is obviously the best case scenario. 4 is still pretty good, and then obviously like, you can't get number 5. So I feel like this draft has more high risk picks than talent. Like top 3 least likely to bust and be insane. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, again, unfortunately, I can't like. I'm sorry, I can't really have this conversation with you right now, but because like I just don't know what these guys look like or any sort of like you know scouting on these guys. So, but I just hope that the Bulls somehow jump up. That'd be good. Memphis is probably trading Ja this summer. I expect it, yeah. It just matters to see like how much he plays the rest of the season, like because like Ja, like he's had like an alright-ish year, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's had like a pretty awful year. No, it's pretty awful. Okay, yeah, it's been a rough year. So like there might be some incentive to actually play him the rest of the season to try to get his trade value up. Yeah, this is pretty rough, man. It's so disappointing to see with Ja that like he has not improved his 3-point shot, because like I mean when we saw Morant like in his like, you know, his all-star years, like it was insane to watch. It's what I said though about my concern with him is like he's gonna die if he continues to play this way, and obviously the athleticism has waned. Dealt with injuries, he's dealt with a lot of off-court issues as well, but like he just hasn't improved his 3-point shot, which could have been the equalizer for him to kind of last longer than he than he lasted in his peak. So yeah, I'm pretty concerned, honestly. Like, I mean, I don't if I'm a team that's trying to win, I'm definitely not trading for him. There's like, I feel like I'm just getting the worst version of Ja moving forward. So I think if you're Memphis, there might actually be some incentive to try to play him, to try to get his trade value up. So maybe that will help them win some games, which would help the Bulls. So there's good risky picks till 10. That's what I've definitely heard. Yeah. That's the small guard vid Rusty did went over Morant a bunch. Yeah, I'm not shocked that he did that vid. I didn't watch that vid, but it's definitely not shocking to see that he did a vid like that. But a lot of people have been talking about it, man. Like I've been talking about it, but like there's also a lot of just NBA folks that have also talked about it. I think Ja to the Clippers is a chance. I don't think so. Yeah, they just got Garland. Yeah, I think the Clippers are actually full out. Like after this season, they're gonna be full out, like trying to just hit the reset button. I think what's going to be announced after the All-Star break is that they're going to get punished for circumventing the salary cap on the Kawhi Leonard deal, which I hate this from the NBA. I honestly, I'm just, okay, whatever. But I think they're going to get punished. Therefore, they're just going to want to fully reset during the punishment and, you know, get further away from having their picks going to OKC. And then they'll kind of just like reset from there and build through the draft, hopefully. So Ja and Derek are still a similar career arc wise. They are unfortunately similar. It's sad, but yeah, it is the case. Yeah, it is honestly pretty similar, with just like the Ja Morant years of All-Star were slim. Same with Derek, right? Now Derek obviously won an MVP. Ja was 7th in MVP voting, but yeah, it's just rough. Clippers might be rolling the tanks in front of Randy's Donuts. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I think what's gonna happen here is the Clippers are gonna get hit with like some sort of penalty. I don't know what it's gonna be, honestly, but either way, though, they don't want to be trying to win during their penalty years. So that's the reason why I think the Harden, like, you know, they didn't, like, maybe that reason why the Harden trade happened, but Harden asked for, like, oh, we're gonna, like, I want a new contract, and the Clippers like, no. So, like, I think that's the reason why the Clippers said no to Harden. And that's why they eventually, because Harden's like, just trade me then. And so that's why the trade happened. So I think that's what's gonna happen here. Is they're gonna get hit with some sort of like penalty, and they just don't want to be trying to win during those years, so they're gonna fully reset, eat the penalty, and then, you know, at that point, hopefully when the penalty's over or almost over, they'll finally stop giving picks to Oklahoma City. They'll be able to build through the draft again, and see where they can go from there. Obviously, Steve Ballmer's going to continue being their owner, so unless maybe he's kicked out. I'd be kind of shocked if he is, though, because he brings a lot of money into the NBA. So I'd be very shocked if he's kicked out as owner. You know, maybe they should kick him out, but like, I mean, there's no reason for Adam Silver to do such a thing. So yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen here. And if you're wondering why it hasn't been announced yet, it's because the Clippers are hosting the All-Star game. So, like, they don't want the bad PR heading into the All-Star game around the league, obviously, because the Clippers are hosting an All-Star game this season. So they don't want the bad PR around the NBA heading into the All-Star break. And so once the All-Star game is concluded, after, you know, going through the Clippers, you know, new arena and everything, which is going to be awesome for all the fans going. Like, I think having the All-Star game in that arena is going to be awesome for all the fans. Like, it's going to be a great atmosphere. I think after that, you're going to see a penalty being hit for the Clippers. So be on the lookout for that. So we might get some information this break about that, which is going to be pretty funny if it does come out. I don't know, man. I'm just like, because, like, I think we all know that, like, teams are in some sort of fashion always trying to circumvent the salary cap. So, like, I just kind of just, like, you know, like, yeah, it's bad. Like, I get it. But, you know, if I found out the Bulls were doing this, like, I honestly wouldn't be that upset. Like, I honestly would be, like kind of happy, like, that they even tried. That's just kind of my opinion. Now, I understand, though, like, okay, like, fairness, like, I completely understand why this is bad, but I'm just kind of, in my head, at least, I'm just, like, I think a lot of teams are doing this, so, like, is this really that bad? So, I don't know. It's gonna be quite interesting. Always going nowhere, yeah. Maybe a second round pick loss, a slap on the wrist, so I don't think that's gonna happen. I think they're gonna lose, like, multiple first round picks and, like, face, like, a pretty hefty fine. Now the reason why I'm guessing it's gonna be a hefty fine is because they know Ballmer can pay it. Like, they're gonna, like, induce, like, I don't know, like, some ridiculous fine on them, but it's like, that's chump change to Ballmer. Like, that doesn't matter to Ballmer. So they can just go ahead and do that. But what it will do, though, is that it will scare the other owners who are very cheap and don't want to spend. It will actually scare them into not wanting to actually go ahead and do this, because they could, you know, get caught and have to pay, like, a ridiculous fine and have to worry about it. But I think it's gonna be multiple first round picks are gonna be taken away, which is the reason why the Clippers don't want to try to contend anyway, because they can't trade their first round picks then. And a big, humongous fine, which, again, for Ballmer, it means nothing. But for the rest of the NBA, I think it's going to be like, oh, shit, like, a $3 million fine? Like, oh, my God, like, we can't do that. Like, no, oh, we can't, there's no way. We're cheap as hell. Like, we got to make sure we make money every single season. For Ballmer, that's, like, legitimately paying a $3 bill. So it doesn't mean anything to him. But, yeah, I think that's what's coming. If it's actually a second round pick taken away and a slap on the wrist, like, then I'm just like, okay, like, why are we even talking about this in the first place? Like, Adam Silver already sucks at trying to enforce rules. Like, if he was truly trying to enforce rules, then, like, this whole tanking thing with the Utah Jazz would be, like, a major issue, but it's not. And honestly, I don't really think it should be, but, you know, there's a pretty big tanking issue going on right now in the NBA. But, you know, Adam Silver doesn't care, and so why should we care? Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm quite interested in seeing how Adam Silver does this, because I've not been a fan of Adam Silver in his time as commissioner. I think he's done some pretty dumb decisions overall. His first big decision was, you know, banning Donald Sterling for life. That was good. But there's been definitely some stuff after that I've been pretty upset, including the All-Star break that we're going to be seeing. So I'm hoping it's going to work out well, but I'm very concerned. But let's look ahead here. So we're going to have a week off, so I'm actually not going to see you guys until next Thursday. So big break here. Again, I'm looking forward to this break just to get away from this team. But the Bulls are going to be back at home facing the Toronto Raptors, and then facing Detroit, which Rozzy said, and then the New York Knicks. So we get a little 3-game homestand, and when we come back, all three teams are trying to fight for playoff positioning, so I'd be kind of shocked if the Bulls even won any of these games. Yeah, we'll be seeing how the Bulls fare against these Eastern Conference foes when they get back. Or sorry, it's before game. Wait, sorry. Oh God, I wasn't even looking ahead. Sorry. It's gonna be even longer than that. 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's gonna be a 7-game homestand. Okay, I did not know that. All right. So when the Bulls return from their All-Star break, we have a 7-game homestand. Sorry, I was not looking ahead past the New York game at all. So, yeah, we get to see the Bulls at home for a little bit against a lot of Eastern Conference foes, and then some foes out west that are going to be heading into town. I think the Bulls honestly should be losing all of these games. All these teams are fighting for playoff positioning. It's a good loss to Portland. It would help Portland with their record and hopefully making the playoffs this season, which means that the Bulls would get their pick. Milwaukee, again, assuming Giannis is going to come back, is going to try. And then obviously OKC is OKC. So, yeah, I think honestly all these teams are going to be beating us. So that'd be good for the tank. I look forward to seeing just some players' development and the young guys playing in these games. So, want to say thank you guys so much for all tuning into the post-game stream and for tuning into this stream all season long. I really do appreciate all the support. If you have not hit the like button on the stream, helps me out a lot. I do appreciate all the likes on the stream. If you have not checked out my most recent article for On Tap Sportsnet, please do. It actually got a lot of traction, so I do think some of you guys did actually check in on the article, so I sincerely do appreciate it. But if you have not done so, please check that out. I graded all the Bulls trade acquisitions at the trade deadline, so if you want to go ahead and read my full thoughts and analysis on the trades, it is all in that article in written form, so go ahead and do that. Yeah, we'll be back on Thursday to see if the Bulls lose again. And hopefully Rob Dillingham and Jay Ivey are going to be playing more than Simons and Sexton. Hopefully. All right, y'all. It's been fun. Hope you guys enjoy this little break off basketball, and hopefully you guys get to enjoy some other sport a little bit. And then when we come back, we can reconvene and talk about it. All right. Thank you guys so much. Be safe. Have a good night. I'll see y'all in a week. Peace.